Let's have a look at how to add an assignment to your course. First of all, make sure you're on your course page. You want to then activate edit mode. Anytime you want to make any changes to your course, you have to have edit mode on. Then we need to decide where we are going to put our assignment. So if you want it to be in a main section, you will use the plus icon. If you want it to be under a subsection, you will use this add an activity or resource button. Let's make a section here for assignments. I will then use the plus button to add activity or resource. Then we will be looking for the first one here, assignment. You'll then give your assignment a name, a description. So here you would explain what topic the assignment covers. If you want the description shown to the students on the course page, you can enable the checkbox. Over here, you give the activity instructions, so you explain what your assignment is about. Okay, once you're done with that, if you need to add files for your assignments, you can add as many files as you want to over here. Then we have the availability section. So we specify from when we're going to allow submissions. Okay, if that's enabled, then it'll be from the date and time you specify here. So for this example, from the 3rd of August at midnight, the submissions will be allowed, and the due date is the 10th of August at midnight. If you want to enable a cutoff date, that means you don't allow any submissions after this date. You can do so by enabling this checkbox. So then if you make this the 10th at midnight as well, okay, that means that after the due date, you're not allowing any more submissions. If you make the cutoff date the day after, that means you're allowing 1 day for late submissions. These will then be marked as late, and you can do with that information as you please. Then we have submission types. If you want to allow file submissions, you enable this checkbox. If you just want to allow online text where the student types into a text box, you enable this checkbox. If you say file submissions, you can limit the different file types. You can specify how many files they can upload as well. You can specify the accepted file types here by choosing the file types you want to have. So if you only want to allow document files, you can click there, and then specifically PDF, you can do that here. You can then click on Save Changes. If you want to enable a word limit for the online text submission, you can enable the checkbox, include your word limit here, and then they will be limited in their submission. If you look at feedback types, you can have comments, so you can respond to them with comments that you write. You can also annotate any PDF submissions, so this allows you to make marks on the PDF. We can have submission settings. Do you require students to click the submit button? Do you require students accept the submission statement? And you specify if you want to allow more than one attempt. If you want to notify graders about submissions, so if you want to be notified here, whenever someone submits, you can click on yes here. If you want to be notified about late submissions, you can change this to yes as well. And the default option for notify student, you can change over here too. On the grade side, here you can decide what the maximum grade for your assignment is going to be. You can specify the grading method, whether or not your grade is categorized. So remember, this comes from your weights that you set up. So if you have set up your weights, you'll find your categories here. You can specify the grade required to pass the assignment. If you want to allow anonymous submissions, you can do that here. Remember, the question marks are always there to help you if you've forgotten any of these items. So anonymous submissions hide the identity of students from markers. Anonymous submission settings will be locked once a submission or grade has been made in relation to this assignment. So it just hides the identity of the students from you. just so it can help you to do unbiased marking. You can also hide the grade identity from the students. So if you have multiple lecturers working on a subject together, you can decide you don't want them to know exactly which lecturer did the marking. Using marking workflow. So this, if enabled, marks will go through a series of workflow stages before being released to students. This allows for multiple rounds of marking and allows marks to be released to all students at the same time. So doing this prevents a situation where maybe you've only marked 10 out of 40 students, so only 10 students get the results before the rest, and then the remaining 30 sometimes are wondering why they don't have marks yet. So this marking workflow helps combat that. Okay, then we have the normal module settings. If you want it to be available or not, do that over here. We can restrict access based on various things, completing other activities first, a date, getting a specific grade on something else. We have the completion conditions. If you use this, you can force students to manually mark it done, or what makes more sense in this case is that as soon as they make a submission, it's marked as completed. All right, so once you're happy with all your settings, you can click Save and Return to Course. And your assignment will be there and available to students.